What
All right.
should I and our visual blah. What should
Casual.
I visual? I don't know what visual is.
Casual FC, it's casual.
Casual Fagual Club.
Riley comes in. Angel City on the board.
Corner kick presented by Cedar Sinai.
Shifty work into the box. And across, it's in! Oh, it's Leroux! It's a dream return!
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Casual FC, an Angel City preview pod. I'm your host, Angel Morales, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Mario Salazar.
Ooh, I like that one. That one's gonna. I might go back and add some air horns on that one. I like it.
Some real air horns this time. All right. So on the last episode of Angel City FC, we were at Red Bull Arena in New Jersey playing Gotham FC at home. We held it down on defense. It was a draw. No one scored. I think, inevitably kind of lost the situation because M.A. Vignola is out with some, in hockey terms, lower leg injury. Like, no one knows. Something
No
happened. Nobody likes
specifics.
it. Yeah,
No specifics, no info, just keeping it super hush hush.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's fine. Maybe
But she was limping.
it's something
And then
simple.
there was a quick shot during the game where she was actually like being carried out on two people's shoulders, and they
I hate
like
that.
it was like a split second on TV. They like showed it, and then I think the director might have gone like whoops, and then like cut to a different camera. It's like it was split second, so if you didn't really see it, but yeah, unfortunately she was limping off the field, and then later on around halftime, there was a quick shot of them, two people like kind of picking her up through coming out. So hopefully it was just more of a precautionary thing of like, let's go check her out and see what's up. But again,
Totally.
no info from the team or anything like that. So
We'll
best
find out
guess
this
is
weekend.
as good as mine. Yeah. Another surprising thing was June Endo being there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. A
she's
lot
still-
of federations have not reported to their camps yet. Like, I think it's this week they start reporting. Like, historically, U.S. national team reports very early. Part of it is to create the vibe, which I think is really neat, and like create the hive mind of the team. And part of it is to just generally get ready to ship out media, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah,
we are usually the first group to be like, bye, we got to go be great.
yeah, she could, and then there's a pretty good possibility that she's going to be here this weekend because she posted, and June posted that she posted a picture of BMO and was like, see you guys this weekend, or
I know.
something to that effect. So I was like, geez, even now?
I know.
Still?
It feels like the World Cup is going to start in a millisecond.
Yeah, like Japan's going to be like, wait, we're not ready yet.
Hold on.
Let me put on my
Yeah.
shin guards. Well, it's still a result, right? 0-0.
Yes.
We
It's
get
a
a point.
It is not as many points as anyone would have preferred, but it is a point. And I'm
It is a point.
grateful for that.
And I mean, the good news out of all of this is we had a Challenge Cup game prior to traveling to Gotham, and we won. We beat San Diego, which was
Totally.
a great thing, which, we'll kind of update stuff on that next Challenge Cup match, which is going to be at the end of the month.
And
But-
I will say a draw wasn't what I was hoping would happen, but for it being the third game in a week for this team, along with cross-country travel, I don't hate it.
And most of our international players being gone, save for
Say for June.
was Ali was there at the
Yeah,
San
Allie was.
Diego
June
match.
and Allie are still
and
here.
then June is still here for this Gotham game. But as we've been saying for the last couple episodes, at least since week 11, really, when we were like kind of midway through, is race to the playoff chaos is in full effect.
Yes, sir. It's bonkers out here.
It is. It is insane. So, so the bright side is we tied and we got a point, right? Not so bright side. We dropped all the way back down to 11th. So,
and the crazy thing is that the distance between 6th and 7th place and 11th and 12th place is still not a lot, which is why this keeps happening all over the place.
Yeah, right now we're in 11th place with 14 points, and 12th place has 13 points, which is the Red Stars. But the gap between the playoff line and us being at 14 is only 6 points. Mm-hmm. So
and it's been 6 points for like a minute. It's been between playoff contention and wherever we are, it seems it's just 6 points. And I just want them.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just consistently been 6 points, but at least, as they say, when you're looking at like some prognosis and stuff, it's like at least it's not getting worse.
Yes.
Not getting worse is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think right now we're looking at two different teams. We're looking at the first half of the season and we're looking at the second half of the season. And they are very different ACFC teams.
Yeah.
Which for me, like the standings don't reflect that, obviously, because they're playing from a deficit. But I think collectively this team is light years better than what we were seeing in the first half.
And they're not going to reflect that because I think it's only been, 3 games?
With 3 regular season games, yeah.
That's not enough. With how tight everything is in the standings and the way things have been leapfrogging around each other, 3 games really isn't that much to give you giant leaps at this point in the season. So right now, if we're maintaining, we're doing okay. We could be doing better, but of course, it just takes time. It takes time to gel, and then we've got this World Cup break after this upcoming game. So really, the standings is a tale of 2 halves. Mm-hmm. Top 6 and bottom 6. The top 6 have literally been playing leapfrog with each other. It's been weeks since anybody new has popped into the top 6. I'm looking at the kind of great infographics that we've talked about from Allison Gale over on Twitter, agale137, and just visually showing the standings. Houston Dash, who are currently in 7th, the last time they were in the playoff spot was 4 weeks ago.
Oh, geez.
And then before that, it was in week 5. So,
yeah, it's been
it's been a crazy thing.
The rest of the league, you have the top 5, top 6, but it's basically been just who else is going to make this top 6.
Yeah, you know those data graph, the scatter plot point type graphs, mm-hmm. where you clearly see the line going through all the data points.
Yep.
That's exactly what this standings chart looks like. There's a very clear line between 6 and 7 where almost no team crosses the boundary. It's very rare that it happens. And when it has happened, everything has kind of self-corrected. So like I said, tale of 2 halves of the standing. We've got NC Courage at the top in first with Portland, OL Reign, Washington Spirit, Gotham, and the San Diego Wave rounding out the top 6 teams that are currently in playoff contention. And then we've got, in the bottom half, we've got Houston, Racing Louisville, the Pride, KC Current, us, and then the Red Stars. So really, we're just battling between the bottom 6 again. The top 6 are just kind of high-fiving each other and battling between them. But with how tight the points are that we've been talking about, still anything can happen. We have 8 matches left in the regular season. So, being 6 points off the playoff line, at this point, you'll start hearing a lot of banter being like, oh, this match is a 6-point match. And really what they mean is that we're so far into the season now that if we win and in turn they lose and get no points and we get 3, it'll drop them far
Like
down
twofold,
and then leapfrog us. Yeah, twofold at this point, and vice versa. If we lose and don't get any points yet they win, they kind of leapfrog that much more beyond us, and then it becomes even harder because there's less games to play, and then the separation starts becoming bigger and bigger. So at the moment we're okay, but we can't really let it slip that far.
I'm curious to see which top 6 team, if there is a top 6 team, slides the end of the season, like through the last games of the season, because it happens. It can happen. It will happen. It has happened. I'm just really curious who it could
Who's
be or
gonna
who it will be. Who's going to just like peter
who's gonna
out.
hit the slide? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm really hoping we hit the like upswing, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the chart right now from this last week, and we've jumped around so much. Our like Angel City as a whole, like we've been up, we've been down, we've been in contention, we've been nowhere near it, and we still keep plugging along. So all bets are off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, we'll see. And with that, going into our next match, once again, we face another first place team. The last time we played San Diego in the kind of regular season, they were the first place team. And you know what happened in that game? We gave them
hell.
We won that in amazing fashion and knocked them all the way down to 5th place in that week.
Yeah, that was fun.
Now we've got North Carolina Courage, who's in first, and we'll be facing
Let's do it again.
them. Yes, let's do it all over again. Also, I'm just going to say Reddit lied to me. There was a post on Reddit of someone breaking down the kind of difficulty of the schedules for each team, and apparently it looked like the first half of our season was the heaviest because we were facing all the top teams, and then going into the second half of the season we were going to get lighter and lighter because we're going to technically be playing the bottom half of the teams, and like we've been talking about it, there's the top half and there's the bottom half, right?
Yep.
Very clear line. But I still haven't felt that the teams are getting a little easier.
Same. I feel like everything is just progressively getting harder on all fronts, but in the sense of like I think it's because I feel the pressure of the end of the season looming. So it's very much like, okay.
Yeah. Those 8 games are going to start becoming very, very small pretty soon. So we've got to keep it up. So like I mentioned, we're playing North Carolina Courage, and we're going to be playing at home this weekend before, the big World Cup break. And just kind of a couple of kind of interesting notes so far for the Courage is they have kept the most clean sheets in all competitions so far, with 8 clean sheets out of 14 weeks. So that's pretty good on them. They're also ranked.
For those who don't know, a clean sheet means they have not been scored on. Their goalie allows nothing. They've won 8 games without being scored on at all. So
they could have tied.
Right,
they could have tied some of those.
They could have tied. I don't know if they have tied is the real question. The Courage, they have 2 draws. The Courage have 2 draws, so ooh.
So they've won most of their games without allowing any goals in, which is, the key to the game. You want to score more than you let in. So, and then so far up to this point, ACFC, we have scored 5 goals in our last matches, but honestly, that's 4 goals against the Wave, and that's regular season and Challenge Cup, and 1 goal against the Spirit. So those are 3 out of those 5 matches that we actually had a score on. So, sometimes these stats, like I always have to take a double take on these stats because it's like baseball stats when they pull like
you can make statistics on anything.
Exactly.
But which
it's
ones
the
are
first time a left-handed catcher on a day with 37 degrees Celsius temperature. Like what?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes, I clarified that, or I had to look in, like, what does 5 matches mean? It means we scored in 3 of them out of the last 5.
And
And then
were draws.
the little note that was on FOTMob when I was looking everything up was Alyssa Thompson has been our biggest chance creator, which meaning she's been the kind of linchpin or the one that has gotten the ball in the spots for the rest of the team to be able to do something with it, right? Like getting it up the field, crossing it, doing all of that stuff. But, womp womp, she's gone.
Only for a few weeks. We'll get her
only
back
for a few
in
weeks.
month. Yeah.
She's with the national
Hopefully.
team, which is
Yeah.
rightly deserved. But there goes our biggest chance creator. So with
Far.
that,
I'm
so
gonna
far,
just put a little asterisk by there because last couple games, Scarlett Camberos has been showing her talent off. We've had some surprise goals from defenders. Anything could happen. That's gonna be my caveat every episode until the end of the season. I don't know what's gonna happen. Everything's
Exactly.
bonkers.
Okay, well, with all of that, what should we be looking out for? The casuals like me and the newcomers and even the seasoned vets of women's soccer, or WOSO, as we've been, using the acronym every now and then. What are we looking out for in this matchup?
So obviously, points. We need to score every attempt we attempt. Every time we're attacking, we need to start converting those better. And it's happening. I just think that it would be really cool if the ball went into the goal. Like if we scored a lot more. Just in general, no shame, no hate, no shade, no nothing to anybody ever. But I'm just saying in general, if we could score 57 goals, let's go. We have the talent. Let's just do it.
When you hear recaps or analysis of things like that of games, at any level, you always hear if they would have finished those attempts, we could have won. And it's yeah,
obviously.
Obviously. But I think they need to listen to us in the stands when they're coming down our way, and every single time we're yelling at them to shoot the ball.
We have a tendency to make that extra pass when we don't always need to, or at least that's what it looks like from the aerial view.
That's what I feel. That I feel that a lot of time there's just one too many. You could have taken that shot there.
Yeah,
and if you missed. But again, it's one of those things where you look at those stats and then it's shots or shots on goal, and then it's a single digit number.
Right. And you're
come on.
No, because we had all of those chances. And I think that's a big part of it. It's we're attacking more, but the attack gets muddled, or it gets muddy somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think it's because there's just enough hesitation in different players for whatever reason. And I think part of it is because they aren't 18 and Alyssa Thompson and has good cartilage in her knees and can do whatever she wants because she's young. There's that experience brain that kind of gets in your own, you get in your own head sometimes because you're oh, the last time I played this person, they did this, but I really just want to do that. Just do the thing. We have nothing to lose, truly, at this point as a team. And I think if we just go for it,
just pepper the goal. Happen. Pepper it.
Just hurt somebody's feelings on offense, and it'll just be so good, so good.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Oh no! But no, overall, we're tightening the screws, and it's showing to me in the midfield. Our midfield passing is getting better. We're able to win back the ball in the midfield in ways we weren't able to prior to a month ago. And we're also moving the ball up the field so much faster. The last
I will say that I will say that the last couple games I've noticed the play being a lot faster.
Yeah.
Granted, the last couple of games we've also played have been a lot more physical.
Oh my God, yeah.
I see them getting thrown around or just pushed, or they're and
dash
especially
game.
that Yeah, that dash game with like the red card, but it feels like they're moving a lot faster. They're kind of making faster decisions. So I
Right.
think we're going
Yeah.
on like,
It's like that
the up and up
overall
on that.
hesitation cloud that covered Angel City for like 3 quarters, like this season, beginning of this season, end of last season. It's like pulling away. It's like the marine layer where it comes in, comes out, and it's like it came in and just socked in the team, and then slowly but surely, like the goals, like Didi's been looking better. Defense is hot. Like our midfield is tightening up, and it's like, okay, now it's our forwards, now it's our attackers, our strikers. Like, let's go, get the clouds out, shake it off. Let's have fun. And I think the more we see the players having fun on the pitch, the more we're going to see goals, and we're going to see a lot of really good ball movement, teamwork in general, and like that's, I think, when a team is the most dangerous. One, when they know they have nothing to lose, and two, when they're having fun. And if you combine those two things, good luck. Like, that's all bets are off because that team doesn't care. Like, they care because they want to win, but they don't, like, you can't hurt them at that point.
They're not being precious about it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, cool. They have nothing to lose because anything right now is a win is 10 times what a normal win would feel like, given all the things this season. And like, just go have fun, go do the things. You're out there living the dream. Let's just go. Like, I just want to give them this pep talk. Like, get in the huddle before the game, be like, I want you to have fun, mess with people, show off, do everything you have wanted to do if you have the opportunity. Like, just go for it.
We'll tag Becky, and we'll tag everyone
who's
know.
like liked a reel or tweeted or like breathed near our Twitter or something. Yeah. Just listen.
Yeah.
Just go have fun. Remember why you're out there, and like just go.
I'm gonna go on the website and just like I'm gonna Google each staff person's name, and then whoever the first result is on Twitter, that's who's getting a tweet.
Please.
We'll see if it's the right person.
Oh my goodness. All right. So the nitty gritty, the players to watch. Here we go. Bum, bum, bum. For Angel City, I'm going to start with our Iron Woman, Megan Reed. An Iron player, Iron Man, Iron Woman, is a player who has played every game in a season.
Okay.
And played the whole game. So start
every
to
minute,
finish, every minute of a season.
Okay.
And that is Megan Reed. She stepped up when needed last season, filled in spots, and just blew me away as a human. She played college soccer, said, okay, like, that's fine. Didn't really feel the need to play professional or try to go that route. Became an EMT and has been a firefighter, like working with firefighters, all kinds of stuff down in, I think, like North County, San Diego, or San Diego somewhere. And they would play pickup soccer games. Her captain, I believe, someone on her like troop of people in fighter land. I don't know what it's called.
Firefight.
I kept wanting to say her company, and I'm like, I don't know if that's right. I don't know. So the folks that she was working with, they were playing pickup soccer and like, oh, you should go try out. Like, there's going to be a new women's professional team, like blah, blah, blah. So she literally goes and like walks on, like tries to walk on for the wave. Like, they're having open tryouts. She goes. They don't pick her up, which joke's on them because we did. And she saved our behinds last season in the midfield. And we haven't seen too much of her this season. I know she came in after MA went out on Sunday, but I'm really hoping we're going to see more of her coming in, either in the midfield or on defense with the World Cup players being gone, national team players being gone. She's just a joy to watch. I will say the funnest little nugget of things that I've noticed about her on the field, as someone who's studied like sports psychology and things like that, she wears a compression collar, which actually helps prevent concussions and blood flow to the brain when you hit your head. It's really cool science. I did a whole research project on it for grad school, but she wears one of those. They're called Q collars. But the neat thing is that whenever somebody goes down, she's one of the first people over to help them. Like, the EMT
Her
comes
EMT,
out of like
the EMT
one
training
moment.
kicks in.
Yeah, like we have we have help on the pitch. So that's Megan. The next person I want to talk about is Madison Hammond. She scored her first goal in the NWSL last game, well, San Diego game. She is the first Native American or Indigenous player, whichever term is more comfortable to use, to play in the NWSL. She represents the Navajo and the Pueblo tribes. And I think it's super neat that by scoring the goal she did, she is the first, it was her first goal, first Indigenous player, the fastest in Challenge Cup history. Like, it was just like all these things just by one goal.
Every
And
record, just go ahead and tick them
yeah,
off.
exactly. And if you saw any of the post-game interviews after that, she then sprinted 60 yards to the bench to go celebrate with the team, followed by Captain Allie Riley, who was like, "Why did you do that?" But she's like, "I don't know, I blacked out." Like, the joy that came out of her after scoring is what I hope we see on the pitch forever from her and from the rest of the team. Cool little fun fact, she is ambidextrous on the pitch, so she can pass with her left and her right foot. And not everybody can do that. It's very much like basketball, where if you're left-handed, you're going to drive to the left, right-handed, you're going to favor your right side because it's your dominant side and easier. So when you're ambidextrous, you're a little bit of an added threat in ways people don't necessarily realize because you can just willy-nilly all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, I can barely walk, so being ambidextrous on the field is probably to the advantage of the player. And I
definitely.
mean, being able to completely switch that up, I think would be confusing for defenders. Just kind of like, if
you don't know
if you
which
see
way
them coming,
somebody's gonna go.
If you see them coming one way and they switch it up on you, and now, as you're saying, if you're right-handed or left-handed or footed, you tend to favor that side. It's the same with the defense. Like, whatever your dominant side is kind of side you're going to favor. Sometimes you might turn around so that you can have, like, your strong foot forward. But having an ambidextrous player, I think that's just going to trip you up.
Right. Exactly. And last but certainly not least for this episode is Savannah McCaskill. She is, I don't know, like, she's just great. Savannah had a little bit of like a ramp up after she came into the league, in the sense that you could tell, like, if you have followed women's sports, there's a big drop off between a lot of the things that players have access to at the collegiate level and then what they then go into the professional world thinking they're going to have those same things, and they don't, which can cause a weird sort of transitional time. And I think that's what happened with Savannah, and how she played her, like, not her skill level, because that's always been there, but the switch to the professional level and not having the NCAA rules and regulations of the school and all that to kind of keep your schedule going. It's really easy, especially as a young player fresh out of college, to, and this is across all sports, like, just not know what you're doing. I mean, I feel like that's all of us out of college, and even in college.
Yeah,
15 years.
It's a whole new world, right?
Yeah, but it's a very different experience. And when you don't have access to the same types of resources, food, nutrition coaching, fitness centers, things like that, it can mess with your training, your mindset, and all kinds of stuff. I was, in looking at research for this episode, it was really interesting to look at pictures of players over their career. This is their first year out of school. This is 5 years in, 6 years in, whatever, or switching teams, things like that. And you see how a player, like, gets more fit or like their body structure changes. And this is me being a total anatomy nerd and very little else. Like, I think it's really interesting what happens to somebody's body when they just dial in and, like, commit wholeheartedly to making sure that they're giving their all to themselves and to their team. And that's what Savannah looks like on ACFC. Like, she dialed it in at some point in the last, like, 3 to 5 years, because her body composition has changed. And it's really neat because she's holding it down for this team in the midfield and attacking. I think she might be our leading goal scorer across both seasons, because, like, she scored the very first ACFC goal ever when they played at Cal State Fullerton for that Challenge Cup game. She had a bunch of goals last season. She scored this season. She's just been very impactful, I think is the right word, across the board. And I'm glad she's with us. I hope she stays for a long time. She just recently celebrated 100 NWSL matches. Last match.
Woo.
Yeah, which is a big deal. 100 matches when you're only playing in like what 14 to 22 games a season. It takes a long time. It's not like it's a 40 game season or, you know, 162 games in a season like it is for baseball. This is the longest season for these players this season, like that in the history of the NWSL, because we have the most teams. And next season we'll have more. Like, it's really neat to see these women hit these milestones, but it'll be cool to see them do it more often now that the seasons are going to be longer. So that's my spiel on ACFC. I'm going to give you numbers and position.
Give it to me.
All right.
The more info we can get, the better.
All right. So Megan Reed, number 6 on defense. You'll see her close to Dee Dee, holding it down with Paige, MA, Captain Allie Riley, like on that side of the field. Madison Hammond is number 99. And she is a defender and a midfielder, so you'll see her kind of filling in both roles where needed. And then Savannah is a midfielder. She's number 9. And you'll see her, like, she's in what's considered an attacking midfielder, so she goes to score, which is apparent.
Yeah. I just looked her
Alrighty.
up right now, and
Oh, yeah?
as you were saying, last season for Angel City, she scored 7 goals with 2 assists, and currently she's only at 1, but I mean, you know, we've got 8 more games to play. She has enough runway to maybe match or beat that record.
Alrighty. For North Carolina, the Courage, we are seeing some old friends, or an old friend, I should say, this game in Tyler Lucy. For those of you who don't know or new
That's
to
a
the
familiar
team.
name.
Yeah, it's a very familiar name. She was one of our starters last season, and I think the entire fan base in some way misses her. Like, the ACFC fan base misses her tremendously for a lot of reasons. She was a fan favorite. She still is a fan favorite, even in North Carolina. She's a fantastic player. She's a natural forward, and because of injuries and necessity and all the things, she was actually playing defense and essentially shut Trinity Rodman down last season while playing a new position. And it's just really fun to watch. She's part of Team No Sleeves, which is basically just players that roll their sleeves up and show their fantastic arms. Pages too, like, it's just fun. But it'll be nice to see Tyler play in her natural position, which is a forward, so she'll be trying to score on us, and hopefully she does not. But there's that. I'm excited to see her play. She's fun.
Hopefully Dee Dee's got her number, and like, I know you. I remember you from practice.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll have a little bit of a leg up on that, and having people like Paige and Megan Reed and all of our defense be able to be like, oh, we know you. We got this, you know, and go in ready for them. Next up is Estelle Johnson. She has been a stalwart in the league. She had kind of bounced around to a couple different teams, played on Gotham for a while before coming to the Courage. She is on the Cameroon national team, which is pretty cool. But she's just solid. One of those players where if she's on your team, like how Paige has been for us on defense, and just showing up every game, showing out every game, doing everything she can to defend the goal, break up plays, all that. That's Estelle Johnson on the Courage. So it's like the work ethic and the drive to defend is similar, but just on enemy territory. And my last player is Brittany Ratcliffe. She is fun to watch. She actually, while playing for Utah, who is getting a team back, I believe. Oh, God.
In 2 years?
2 years, yes.
20.
Not
2026?
Something like that. They're getting a team back, which is exciting because they had a team moved, lost a team, controversy. They deserve to have a team back. But she actually scored the goal that broke up the Courage's undefeated season in 2018. So she is a threat on the ball, but I have faith that we will show up and play very well against the Courage. They have lost a lot of players to the World Cup. And I know, like I said earlier, a lot of teams haven't fully reported or are in the process of reporting to their respective camps, but they have a ton of players on different national teams. And I think that will hopefully, fingers crossed, bode very well for us.
Oh, and I just looked it up. Utah is getting their team next year.
Okay. Yeah, there's been so much like new
2024
team talk, and I'm like, Boston, Utah, the Bay, another team I don't remember. Like, I don't remember who's coming when.
Yeah, they've announced teams all the way up through like 2026. So yeah, we'll be talking about all of those as they come along. So yeah, Utah coming back for 2024. But as far as the Courage goes, so our familiar face to fans that were here last year with Tyler Lucy, and now that she will be playing in her normal position, what number are we looking at?
She is number 14. Say like what you're used to seeing, but in a different jersey. Tyler Lucy, she'll probably have a pink pre-wrap headband and a blonde ponytail. Like, she's hard to miss out on the pitch.
And then just showing the arms.
Right, just
all
arms
day.
everywhere. Estelle Johnson, like I said, is on defense. She is number 24. And then Brittany Ratcliffe, another forward, is number 27. So between the teams,
Nice.
overall, results are spread across the board. 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. Like, very much the...
And that's over last year and this year.
Yes, the course of our relationship. And then this season, this was the draw against them in North Carolina earlier in May. So I'm really hoping that we can show out and bring home a win, because it would just be really freaking great for a lot of reasons.
Especially going into this World Cup break.
Yes.
There's going to be about a month-long break. We have one match towards the end of the World Cup, which is going to be a Challenge Cup match. Mm-hmm. But regular season, we have a full break. So heading into it's like heading into the half with a point, right? With being up a goal or anything like that. Like,
it's just
you're heading into
good.
Yes, exactly. So I'm, and not only for that, but like, just to feel that win again at home.
Absolutely.
Like, we need that.
Absolutely. I fully agree that the team deserves it. The team wants it. I think they'll get it. I have faith in it. Just as a little fun fact, we have 2 World Cup replacement team players. So when players get called up for their national teams, you can elect to bring in additional players to fill those roster spots. And we got to see Kelsey Hill and Elizabeth Eddy both come in against Houston toward the end of the game, and both made a huge difference. Like, they were very impactful on the pitch. So I'm excited to see how they do with the team. Kelsey, I know, had been training with the team since preseason, so she's been like part of the mix in some way. So it was really nice to see her come in and have like a good like vibe with everybody. It's one thing when you are coming in off the bench and cool, that's great, but it's another when you haven't actually been playing with the team the whole season. And it's just like, okay, that's cool, I guess. And then Elizabeth Eddy she's played all over the place internationally in the NWSL, upwards of 10 to 12 years, I believe. She is from Costa Mesa, so she's from out here. And previously she had played with the Dash. So last season she was with the Dash, and I don't know if she just didn't get picked back up or they waived her, but she signed the short-term contract with us. So fingers crossed that we'll see more of her.
Yeah. An interesting thing about this whole national team replacement players, getting prepped for the World Cup and our World Cup preview pods, I did learn about replacement players. And the cool thing about them is that they we're in a league where there are salary caps and there's, restrictions, and it keeps all the teams kind of on an even playing field. So there's, only so many things you can do by moving the puzzle pieces around.
Right.
And you can't just stack your team with a whole bunch of players because, you literally can't afford them.
Right.
So with the national team replacement players, you could sign players to the team and they don't count towards your roster spots. They don't count towards your salary limits. And there's a certain window that they're allowed to be signed. So right now, because of the World Cup, it was like, something like June like 28th or 26th or something like that. And then all the way through the end of August.
Right.
They're allowed to be on the team as replacement players. And they don't have that effect on the kind of like overall financials and staffing of the team. Now, if they are kept on afterwards, then of course they need to figure out how to move their puzzle pieces around, trade players, do whatever they need to do after that. But for right now, they're basically, we and a bunch of the other teams in the NWSL have like free monopoly money to play with these players.
They can have fun. They can get new blood on the team, try people out, all that good stuff.
The one thing that I didn't see anywhere in their announcement was, what they're getting paid as being these replacement players. But while I do hope they're getting paid what they should be, I think it's amazing to get these players back on the field. Like you mentioned, they come in with veteran ideas and soccer knowledge and playing knowledge, and I think in that short little stint that you talked about in Houston, like there was already like a big impact to that.
Right.
So hopefully, of course we're going into this big break where there's going to be no other chances for them to play, but we do have a little bit of an extension after the World Cup is done.
Because once those national team players come back, they're not exactly like good. They need a break. They're tired.
I mean, they just went through like a sprint of a tournament, and in 1 month they played. If they went deep into the tournament, they played a lot. So there's going to be some rest, or else you're just going to be playing with tired players, and I think it's just going to be to the detriment. The detriment of everything, and we hoping, as we all do with the U.S. women's team, if you're a U.S. women's team fan, that they're going to go get their next trophy. But we've only got 2. There's teams that have like 5. Right. So like that decimates their team.
Oil Rain, they've got a bunch of, Emily Fox is on North Carolina normally, and I'm so pumped that she's on the national team. Super pumped that she's not going to be playing this weekend because she's great.
It's just one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Mario, where can we watch? What time's the game? What time are you getting to BMO? Are you going to go to the Fan Fest? Like, give me the deets.
Yes. So the game is this weekend. It's on Sunday, July 9th. We're going to be playing North Carolina Courage at home at BMO Stadium. Kickoff is going to be at 5 p.m. Now, with that being said, right, we've always encouraged going to the tailgates, checking.
This weekend's a big one.
Checking out what's going on. This weekend's going to be a big one. So, if you haven't seen it on ACFC's Instagram, they posted out a flyer basically that there are 2 big things that happen before a match when ACFC hosts it. Every single match, the supporters groups are out there. They're tailgating, they're having fun, and everyone is welcome. But when the team puts something on, it's either going to be what they call a fan fest, which is, they take up half the grass area out there.
It's a huge party.
Tents, a huge party, DJ, some performance of some kind that has to do with whatever the theme might be. And like sponsor tents, face painting. It's kind of like a mini carnival, right? For the fans and everything like that. And those are great. Those are also probably pretty expensive. So
right, those
can't
cost
really
a
do
lot of
those
money
every
to
single
do.
time. Exactly. Even if it's a bunch of sponsors that are like putting up tents, it still costs a lot of money to do. And so the other side of that is street fairs. They put on these street fairs, which is kind of like a pared down version of their fan fest. They bring food trucks, because like if you get there early, there's not really much to do because you can't go inside the stadium yet. So they bring food trucks. There's a couple of activations, maybe a couple tents from Angel City that you kind of keep you entertained, kind of keep you doing stuff. And like we said, supporters groups are out there. They're all, tailgating and having fun, and everybody is welcome. This weekend, though, on Sunday at 1 p.m., the U.S. women's national team will be playing a friendly against Wales in preparation for the World Cup. It'll be their last friendly before they actually
it's the send-off game.
Go off. It's the send-off game. So the great thing is Angel City is going to be doing a watch party essentially at the tailgate. So they're going to set up a screen and they're going to be playing the U.S. women's national team game during that street fair, / fan fest thing that they're doing. So come early. That thing starts at 12:30. The street fair starts. 1 o'clock is the game. And then 3:30 is when the gates open.
Yeah.
So 90 minutes before kickoff, the gates for the stadium always open, which means you can go inside. You can start buying your beverages and your food and whatnot. And then kickoff will be at 5.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
one more time. 12:30 street fair. At 1 o'clock will be the U.S. women's national team versus Wales watch party out on the grass. At 3:30 will be the gates opening. You can flood into BMO as early as that, and then kickoff will be at 5 p.m.
Where can we?
With all that being said,
where can we watch it?
If you can't be there for whatever reason, if you're a fan that just doesn't have a ticket to the game, you probably know someone who has tickets, so hit them up. But, or if you're, for whatever reason, or you're a fan from out of state, or, not really in the LA area, thank you for, watching and supporting the team and listening to this podcast. To be able to watch it on TV, we've got Bally SoCal, which is our local broadcaster. They will have the local announcers doing the game, so doing the call, which means it's just going to feel like a home game. Mm-hmm. They're going to know a bunch of the players a lot more intimately than a general broadcast. So that's always the kind of one to go to if you have access to Bally SoCal. If not, all matches are still on Paramount Plus, so you can watch them streaming there. If you're international, you can watch them on nwslsoccer.com. And if you can't get to any of those, say you're working and you kind of need to put a little headphone in while you're doing what you're doing, iHeartRadio is the English language broadcaster for the radio. And again, just like being there, getting local broadcasters that know Angel City through and through. And so they're the ones that are going to be giving you the best play-by-play and color commentary and making you feel like you're there as best possible. It's on the iHeartRadio app. If you look up Angel City, they actually have their own channel, which is great. And if you ever catch it on a random, your app was still open, you'll catch a replay kind of going through. So it's always fun. And then Spanish language radio, there's also going to be one on KWKW.
1330.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
KWKW.
That's where Jaime Jarín is for Dodger game. Or was, I should say. He's retired.
Oh, no. Well, there you go. Spanish radio is going to be on 1330 a.m. on KWKW.
Perfect.
So that's the way to catch all of that, both radio, TV, or, just get to the stadium. It's always a lot of fun.
Definitely. So if you haven't already, please follow us at Casual FC Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, while Twitter still lives. We're trying to figure out what's going to happen with whatever happens with Twitter. Make sure we're
signing up for whatever other platforms are out there. So hopefully we keep Casual FC Pod
Definitely.
As our main thing everywhere.
We'll be reserving domains as needed and as necessary. Make sure you subscribe to the pod on whatever your favorite podcast platform is. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, something else in between. They're up there.
We signed up. I ticked every single box. So if you just go to casualfc.com, actually, which is our podcast website, it has all the links to any type of service we're signed up for, any type of app you like to use. So just go there and find the one you want.
Yeah, and if you are listening and if you've made it this far, please, please, please do us a super favor and do at least one of the following things. Either subscribe on one of your platforms, rate and review this crazy shenanigan podcast that Mario and I do, and or share with your friends, post an Instagram story about it, something. Just get the word out there. We just want to make women's sports more accessible and get people more involved.
Exactly. We're just doing this all for the fun of it, as a lot of podcasters usually do. And, you know, the more people that listen to us, the more fun we're going to have, the more interaction we can have
definitely.
with you. And if you hit the subscribe button, we're going to be dropping some World Cup content pretty soon. Starting, I believe right now on our calendar, it's kind of penciled in for July 16th.
Yeah, this is like another pam, 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 like World Cup, air horns. Let's get it.
Exactly. As Angela has mentioned before, if we started a podcast halfway through a season and it's a World Cup year, why not actually do some World Cup content? So we've actually been working behind the scenes on getting some World Cup stats, information, breakdowns, previews, all of that stuff getting ready to go. So really what we're planning out for you is to kind of build this content in a way where, you know, both new people to women's soccer, new people to the World Cup in general, and even experienced World Cup or women's soccer fans can get into and kind of hopefully learn something new. We're going to be doing a World Cup primer, you know, just kind of what is it? How is it played? Who are the teams playing? There's a lot of debutantes this year.
Yeah.
There's 8 new teams, so we'll be talking about them. But really, that's going to be the main one. We're going to do a couple mini episodes through this Sol Rosa colored lens of seeing where our Angels are playing for their own national team. So really, we're going to be focusing on where our Angel City players have gone to their national teams and what group stage they're going to be in, kind of previewing their opponents, who they're going to be facing. So all that is going to be coming soon. At the very least, it will drop before the actual World Cup starts. So we've got till the 20th.
Yeah, we've got till the
drop this.
20th. We have to cram in some recording before I go to the WNBA All-Star game. We are getting
That's
prepared.
right, yes.
We've got you.
Another fun thing that I kind of prepared for this whole World Cup stuff is one of the things that I always mention is whenever we've talked about when to watch or where to watch, it's always been here in LA. Where are you going to watch it from LA, right? None of this Eastern Standard Time. Like, nobody wants to do mental math.
Nobody knows what GMT is. Like, no, I don't know.
What is it? I think it's Australia Standard Time or something like that.
We don't know.
Yeah. I did the math for you. I did the calculations for you. So follow our Instagram. Right after the North Carolina match, I'll be posting a ton of stories. Sorry if that overloads your thing. Don't worry, it'll be saved as highlights afterwards, so you don't have to save them right away. But I went through all of the group stage matches for the first however many days the group stages last.
Yeah, the third stage.
And exactly. And by day, I wrote who's playing who, where you can watch them, what, service or channel or whatever it may be, and what the adjusted time is for Pacific Standard. So, some of these times are going to be a kind of a pain and like at 2 a.m. or at, 4 a.m. But there's a handful of games that are like at 7:30 p.m. for us.
Yeah,
or
our kickoff
at midnight
for the U.S. national team is at 6 p.m. on a Friday night. Cannot ask for anything better when it comes to scheduling.
Exactly. Will I be up at some weird random hours watching other kind of random games? I might be.
I will say yes.
But
yes, I will be.
Yes. That's the fun of it all.
That's a story.
Especially wherever they go.
Yeah, me staying up late to watch soccer is a story for another episode because it is a story that changed my life. So it's perfect. But
all right.
We'll
cover all of that in our World Cup previews. Yeah.
Definitely.
So keep an eye out on Instagram. Subscribe, rate, review, share. Do one of those. Do all of them. Make us happy. Look for us or message us, DM us for free stickers.
Yeah, come get your stickers on
podcast
Sunday.
Stickers. take a few and hand them out to your friends. Make that the thing you share, you know? Make it a physical thing that you share. So yeah, with that, it's been a long episode, but we thought it was going to be shorter.
That was going to be really short, but guess not. I hope you didn't mind listening to our voices for this long. We'll see you on Sunday at the game.
Bye.
Later.